Alright, I'm a little embarrassed to admit this. I'm 30 years old and I've been playing and writing music for like 20 years or so. And I only just bought my first pair of real studio monitors. Up until now, I've just been using normal computer speakers, Logitech or whatever the brand is called. Or headphones, which to be fair was alright or good enough for what I was doing. I'm not an audio engineer, so I don't mix songs for release or anything like that. I mostly just make pre-productions for my band, so I can send ideas to my bandmates or later, when we're going to an actual studio to let the engineer or the producer hear the songs or the ideas that we've written. A couple of months ago, however, I decided to start this YouTube channel and I saw with that an opportunity to kind of improve my mixing skills a little bit. I'd record a guitar cover for the channel and then later I would play it through my laptop speakers, when the video was already up on YouTube. And then I'd be like, how did I not hear that my bass is way too loud in this video, for example? The real reason is that I suck at mixing, but isn't it a lot easier to just blame your gear and say the issue lies there? So I got rid of the Logitech speakers and I got me a pair of Adam T5V real studio monitors. And I figured maybe some of you are in a similar position, considering buying your own first studio monitors as well. So let me give you a few pros and cons that I've personally experienced so far. First of all, yeah, they sound a lot better than your normal computer speakers. But more importantly, they sound neutral. Most people looking into buying studio monitors probably already know why that's important. But for those who don't, basically, if you use computer speakers when you're mixing a song and they don't naturally boost the bass a whole lot, maybe you'll put a little bit more bass in that mix because you kind of want to hear the bass, right? So then later when you listen to your mix again, for example in the car or an environment where there's a lot more bass, you'll suddenly hear that the bass is way too loud and you're like, how did that happen? It sounded alright when I was mixing it on my computer. And that wouldn't entirely be your fault, but it's just that the speakers you used when you were mixing don't have enough bass in them. And mixing through real studio monitors kind of prevents that because the sound is neutral, and that means that if your mix sounds well and balanced through the studio monitors, chances are a lot higher that it's also going to sound balanced through a system in a car that has a lot more bass, for example. Or even when you're listening to the mix through your phone or something that doesn't have as much bass, It's never gonna sound great through a phone or laptop speakers, obviously, but it's gonna be more balanced if you mixed it through neutral studio monitors. Another pro is that they come as two separate speakers. So if one breaks, you don't have to replace the whole set. Or if you want to expand the setup, maybe you want more than two monitors or you want to use an extra thing for bass or whatever. Everything's separate, each has their own volume knob, input, outputs, whatever. So you got a lot more flexibility to work with. Then pro number 3, they can go extremely loud. I mean, not like concert loud, obviously, but when it's just you sitting in a tiny room like I am right now or a bedroom or whatever, sometimes you want to really hear what you're working on. You want to really hear that mix a little bit louder to be able to tell if it sounds good. And with the Logitech speakers, I just really couldn't do that without it kind of sounding very distorted and all that. But what I didn't expect is that they're also really great at low volume. Say your partner's already asleep, but you need just one more hour to finally have that perfect mix. It's never just 1 hour though, is it? Anyways, you can still hear everything perfectly without having to crank them all the way up. So if you mix them in a house or a place where other people live, that's actually a really great benefit. Moving on to the next thing, and this may be a small thing, but I actually really like the way they look. Some studio monitors have those big yellow cones, at the top, which not everyone loves. These are just all black, pretty minimal. And since I don't have a dedicated studio or anything, I'm sitting in a room that my girlfriend uses to work in as well. It's a bit easier to get away with these. So yeah, relationship approved gear. That's a bonus. One downside though, and it's actually the flip side of one of the pros I mentioned earlier, since they come separately, they both need power. So that's 2 cables, 2 plugs. That can be a little bit annoying when your setup's already small or a bit messy already. And speaking of small setups, they're actually way bigger than I expected, which is also kind of a con for me. As you can see behind me, my space is pretty small, and I didn't expect them to be this big. Of course, that's my own fault. I could have easily looked up the dimensions of these monitors, but when I was researching them, all I found was that they're very good entry-level monitors, and I guess I just automatically assumed that that would mean that they would be entry level in size as well or whatever, but they're not. They're actually pretty big. But yeah, I had to puzzle around a little bit, but as you can see behind me, I made it work. So yeah, that's been my experience with the Adam T5V studio monitors. Are they going to magically make your mixes sound amazing? No. But if you're like me and you've been working on random speakers or headphones up until this point, they actually make a huge difference in actually hearing what you're doing. And I think if you really want to, improve and get a little bit better at mixing, something like this will definitely help you get there easier and faster. So that's going to be it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know by liking the video or leaving a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're interested in content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.